Okay. We are up to week 5 of the Summer of Co-op, Summer 2011. We're playing cooperative games. This is Defend Your Castle for the Wii, which is also a browser game, I believe. But we are playing co-op defending our castle. What we've got here is graphics very resembling something a kid might draw at home. You got little bottle caps and buttons, and they're running at your castle. You got to defend it by picking them up and dropping them.
I like this because it's a lot like Tetris. It just keeps going until you're overwhelmed and you can't play anymore. But I love the novelty of it too. Like, you got these bottle cap monsters, button head stick figures, cap gun caps that blow up. All the sound effects are made by homemade voice or whatever.
Yeah, like, oh, we need an explosion. So basically, if you couldn't tell, the way you destroy the enemies is by picking them up with your cursor and then dropping them. Or you just kind of grab them and fling them and then they fall down from the sky later. Let's see, the tower can also defend itself, but let's see, let's talk a little bit about the enemies. You can see little stick figure guys, the basic guys, and then basic guys with popsicles. And they're easy enough to take care of, but as you can see, they tend to swarm you in the later levels. The first levels, like the first couple levels, are way simpler and slower than this. In fact, they're kind of too boring to show. But, let's see, oh yeah, so like you got the stick figures with popsicles. There's also stick figures with caps, and they explode, and you want to try and trigger those when they're in a crowd, or when they're right next to one of these bottle cap guys. They're like ogres or something, because they take several hits to go down. And of course you get different points depending on how many guys you kill, basically. And then those points can be spent for upgrades. But basically, yeah, you're just grabbing guys and flinging them. You eventually get this conversion pit. That's the little blue bucket you saw down in the right-hand corner, where you grab guys and you throw them in there, and then eventually they go up here, where they're the little blue button heads underneath your health bar, and you can use those guys for various things. But you have to actually pick them up and drop them into the pit to get them over on your side. This is a good game for co-op, because there's a lot of stuff on the screen, and it just means that you never get bored.
Yeah, one thing I like, these big bottle cap monsters, I'll concentrate on them while Rob tries and gets the popsicle sticks and stick figure guys.
Boom! Alright, and whenever you're playing multiplayer, it judges how many points you get, and then whoever got the most points is king for that round. And
so I'm king, so I get to choose what we get here in the screen, the fortify walls or repair. We've already got the pit of conversion. Rod talked a little bit about that. I really like the archers. I think once you get enough of them, they're very effective. Plus the demolition. You can't, when you get swarmed too much like we were, every now and then you send a guy out with a bomb and that'll take care of the swarm. Magical arts will give you an eraser that you can erase an enemy. And stonemason just helps with your wall, patching holes and things like that.
And the way you select all those, other than the demolitions one, these other three, once you've got you grab the guys, you put them in the pit of conversion, then they appear as the blue buttons up on top. You go and click on the flag for each tower once you've purchased that tower, and it'll add a guy to that. So right now we had like 15 or so archers as well as the other guys, but whoever's king, whoever earned the most points last round, is the only one who can actually put guys up in the towers. Or if you just click on the flag for the demolition one, it'll automatically send out a guy with a little cap explosives thing. And so basically, like, everybody who's playing can watch and say, oh, we need this and we need that, but whoever got the most points has to be kind of like the leader and determines, we need more guys on this tower, or we need to, have demolitions now. So you help each other out no matter who's actually in charge. And of course, whoever is doing the most will get the most points and therefore be in charge of upgrades.
Ready for another round?
Yeah.
So we have plenty of guys here. I'm going to put a few more on each tower.
And then save a couple for the demolitions we might need.
This is one of the games that just make me laugh all the time because it's so simple, but it's so fun.
It's also one of those that, like, you wouldn't think there'd be that much to it, like that much teamwork or anything, or planning, but there's a little bit of it, and that's perfect, in my opinion, because it's kind of a casual game. You don't have to think that much about what you're doing, but you do get to think a little bit. And if you don't think at all, or if you don't understand the game, then by these later levels, like, well, this isn't really later, but level 19, for example, you're going to get swarmed, and at the very least, if you're not fortifying your walls, then you won't last very long. But this is one of those, it doesn't really require much balance, because other than whoever's king, there's really nothing different that any one player can do. But yeah, it supports up to 4 players. I haven't actually tried the browser version of this game, which I heard is the original version. This version, of course, was like, I think $5. It was one of the first games, actually, for Wiiware that you could download for the Wii. And it's addictive. Because the more you play, the more guys you can convert and therefore add to your towers, and that makes defending your castle easier. But then you get to face bigger challenges. Now the weather changes. As you can see, it's raining now, and then the sun's going to kind of come out. Of course, it's a crayon-drawn sun coming out from little paper clouds, but
it's still another fun feature that it goes through all 4 seasons.
But it's kind of a lot to keep track of, like, I guess not keep track of, that's not the word I'm looking for. It's a lot to pay attention to. You can see a lot of guys, and it's really kind of more like a reflex type game than anything else, which is why I'd agree, it is kind of like Tetris like that. You've got stuff constantly coming at you, and you just have to stay on top of it all, mentally. Yeah, I can't really think of much else to say about this.
I definitely recommend it. Not only is it simple, and with fun graphics, but when you get 2 players, it's a lot more fun that way.
Yeah. So yeah, that wraps up Defend Your Castle. Next up, we will be actually playing Worms, the original PC game, like the DOS version. I guess technically it's Worms United, because I've got the Worms Reinforcements expansion pack. But yeah, we'll be trying that out, and I don't think you've played Worms before.
No, I don't think I have.
So yeah, and obviously we're playing co-op, so we'll either be taking turns on one team of 4 guys, or we'll each have our own team. But yeah, that'll be next week. See you then.